Hi there, it's me again, Bill Dunn, with another episode 5 of my Storyworth project, where I'm going to read essays from the book I wrote, a collection of mostly accurate family stories. This particular one, the question prompt they sent me is, what is one of your earliest childhood memories? So this is what I wrote. We moved from New Haven to Clinton when I was 3 years old. I do not remember the move, nor anything about the years I lived in New Haven. I've seen some old black and white photos of me as a toddler, but I have no recollection of those early years in an apartment on Euston Street. My earliest memory is of the first day of kindergarten, which was in September 1962. I went to the Abraham Pearson School on East Main Street, and my teacher was named Miss Owens. I don't remember a single thing about her except her name. And to be honest, I'm only about 75% sure her name actually was Miss Owens. On that first day of school, I used crayons to draw on a piece of paper, which I brought home and gave to my mother. I assume she hung it on the refrigerator with little magnets. I think I would have remembered if she had framed the drawing and hung it in the living room. So I'm pretty sure that did not happen. Anyway, I can still vaguely see in my mind what was on that sheet of paper. I drew a picture of an apple with the apple colored in red and a little green leaf up by the stem. Next to the apple, I drew a picture of a person. Since I was 5 years old at the time, my depiction of a human being looked a lot like what you'd expect from a kid that age. The head and body were one oval blob in the shape of a potato. The legs and arms were single lines coming out of the potato, and the eyes were located at the top of the head, not unlike a frog. And there was long brown hair coming down both sides of the head. I don't know for sure who I drew, but the brown hair makes me suspect it might have been Miss Owens. Either that or Sophia Loren. Just kidding. I remember nothing about Miss Owens, and I never even heard of Sophia Loren when I was 5 years old. The most memorable feature of that first day's work of art was my name written across the top of the paper. I wrote my name in capital letters, Billy, but it was written from right to left in the exact mirror image of the correct way. I think I know what happened. Miss Owens must have written my name on the blackboard for me to copy. She started with her right hand across her body and wrote moving from left to right. Being left-handed, I started with my left hand across my body and wrote moving from right to left. It was the mirror image of what she had written, and inside my left-handed brain, I thought I had copied it exactly. I have two thoughts about the backwards writing on my first ever school assignment. First, I'm very glad by 1962, schools had ceased the practice of forcing left-handed youngsters to write with their right hands. I've read that practice often caused the child to stutter. I had to go my entire academic career struggling with those chair-desk combos, which had the writing surface on the right side, or I had to curl my left arm like a question mark to be able to write, but at least I didn't develop a stutter. My other thought is genuine surprise at the fact my parents back then, in those days, were not encouraged to teach their kids letters and numbers and how to write their name before enrolling in kindergarten. Nowadays, parents usually do that. Plus, there are preschools and Head Start programs where kids learn their ABCs well before age 5. It's probably just as well American parents were not expected back then to teach their kids anything before kindergarten, since my mom already had 2 other toddlers younger than me at home. So she was kind of busy. Also, here's a fun fact. When I went to school for that first day in September 1962, my mom was already pregnant again, but she probably didn't even know it yet. She was pregnant with my brother Jerry, who would be born early in April 1963. So the earliest memory I have is of the first time I ever wrote anything. What I wrote was completely backwards. People who read my newspaper column nowadays might observe that more than 6 decades later, not much has changed. And here's a nice photo of a patriotic little boy, New Haven, Connecticut, late 1950s. Yep, I haven't changed at all. Okay, thank you. I'll see you at our next episode.